OIDAR services. Friends, OIDAR is an interesting concept under GST. You can understand how a supplier comes under the tax net or escape from the tax net. We need to understand the concept and discuss with the example. Online information and database access or retrieval services, OIDAR, is a category of service provided through the medium of internet and received by the recipient online without having any physical interface with the supplier of such services. Here medium is internet. Without internet it is not possible, and there is no physical interface. There is no physical interface intervention from the human beings. OIDAR service providers are required to obtain registration mandatorily. It comes under section 24 of CGST Act 2017, compulsory registration, that we have already covered under earlier presentations. That is why it is important for all suppliers or recipients of OIDAR services to be aware of GST regulations pertaining to such services. I listed out some services which comes under OIDAR. Advertising, providing cloud services, digital data storage, online gaming, etc., etc. The nature of OIDAR services are such that it can be provided online from a remote location outside the taxable territory. It can be provided online from a remote location outside the taxable territory. A similar service provided by an Indian service provider from within the taxable territory to recipient in India would be taxable. How to identify the OIDAR services? The IGST Act defines OIDAR to mean services whose delivery is mediated by information technology over the internet or an electronic network, and the nature of which renders their supply essentially automated and involving minimal human intervention and impossible to ensure in the absence of information technology. It is very clear, without internet this is not possible, this service not possible. It is fully automated, automatically downloaded from the site. There is a minimum or no human intervention. If there is a human intervention, then it cannot be considered as OIDAR. Without IT support, OIDAR service not possible. Without IT support, information technology support, this service cannot be possible. All these things will decide whether the service is OIDAR or not. We'll take some examples to differentiate how it will be considered as OIDAR or other services. Online live teaching, whether it is coming under OIDAR or not. It is not OIDAR service because there is a human intervention here. That is why it is not OIDAR. Pre-recorded videos, downloadable PDFs. This is considered as OIDAR services because it is all automated, there is no human intervention. PDF automatically downloaded from the site. This is also a OIDAR service because it is automatically downloaded from the site. We'll take one more example. Now IPL is going on. You want to avail advertising service since it reaches huge cricket audience. You will search for the supplier who supplies that service. Assume there are two suppliers, one located in India and another located in USA. One located in India, another one located in USA. One located in taxable territory, another one located in not taxable territory. GST is applicable on person who providing advertising service in India. GST is applicable on the person who providing advertising service in India. Same service sold by foreign supplier will not attract GST as he is outside the taxable territory. In the absence of GST, the cost of service purchased from the supplier located outside India would be cheaper than our Indian supplier. This will create unfair trade advantage to foreign supplier since the service provider is located overseas and may not be having a presence in India. The compliance verification mechanism become difficult. This is the reason government introduced this concept in GST to protect the Indian suppliers and to avoid tax leakage. We will discuss with simple examples. There are three situations. One situation, both the supplier and recipient located in India. Another situation, recipient located in India, supplier located outside India. Third situation, recipient located in India is an individual and supplier located outside India. ABC Limited India is a recipient of service and Times Job, they are also located in India, they are the provider of service. Both located in India in taxable territory. For any supply to be taxable under GST, the place of supply should be in India. Any supply to be taxable under GST, the place of supply POS should be in India. In this case, both the supplier Times Job and the recipient ABC of such service is in India. The place of supply would be location of the recipient of service, that is, it would be governed by the default place of supply rules. ABC have to pay the tax here. That means the recipient have to pay the tax. The place of supply would be location of the recipient of service. In the second scenario, what happens in case where the supplier of service is located outside India? You can see it is a Netflix located in USA and the recipient is located in India. And the recipient is a business entity, registered person located in India. In such cases also, the place of supply would be India and transaction would be open to tax. Here, reverse charge mechanism RCM would get triggered and recipient in India who is a registered entity, that is ABC Limited, will be liable to pay GST under RCM and undertake necessary compliances. Here also, ABC Limited have to pay tax because it is a registered entity in India. Third scenario. This is very interesting. When the supplier is located outside India and the recipient in India is an individual consumer, like Mr. Krishna, individual consumer. In such cases also the place of supply would be India and the transaction is liable to GST. But the problem is how such tax would be collected. It would be impractical to ask the individual Mr. Krishna in India to register and undertake the necessary compliances under GST. It is not possible to ask Krishna to register and undertake the necessary compliances. In this case, overseas suppliers of such services would have an unfair advantage if the services provided are left out from the tax and the compliance mechanism become difficult as the service provider is located overseas. Hence, the government has come out with a simplified scheme of GST registration and make it mandatory that the supplier of service located in non-taxable territory shall be person liable for paying integrated tax on such supply of services. That means OIDA or service providers located in the non-taxable territory shall be the person liable for paying integrated tax on such supply of services. How this mechanism works? How would the entity located outside India comply with the responsibilities entrusted under GST? The supplier or intermediary of online information and database access or retrieval services shall take a single registration under the simplified registration scheme in form GST REG 10. The registration form is GST REG 10 for OIDA or service suppliers. In case there is a person in the taxable territory in India representing such overseas supplier in the taxable territory for any purpose, such person representative in India shall get registered and pay integrated tax on behalf of the supplier. In case the overseas supplier does not have any physical presence or does not have a representative in taxable territory, he may appoint a person in the taxable territory for the purpose of paying integrated tax, and such person shall be liable for payment of such tax. This is about registration and payment of tax. The place of supply, POS of OIDA or services is location of recipient of service. This is very important. POS should be location of recipient of service, not the provider of service in normal scenario. You may think now how to determine the location of recipient in case of OIDA or services. How to trace this type of transaction. But there is a way to identify this type of transactions. I listed out some ways to trace this type of transactions. The recipient gives an Indian address through the internet. The payment is settled by Indian credit card or debit card. The recipient has Indian billing address. The computer used by the recipient has Indian IP address. The recipient uses an Indian bank account for the payment. The recipient receives the service through an Indian fixed landline. By all these things, we can make out whether it is OIDA or not. Filing procedures. In terms of Rule 64 of CGST Rules 2017, every registered person providing online information and database access or retrieval services from a place outside India to a person in India other than a registered person shall file return in form GSTR 5A on or before 20th of subsequent month. The form is GSTR 5A. Due date would be 20th of subsequent month. It is to be noted that GSTR 5A is required to be filed only by the service provider or his representative providing OIDA or service from outside India to a non-taxable online recipient in India. That means GSTR 5A is required to be filed only by the service provider providing OIDA or services from outside India to a non-taxable online recipient in India. Non-taxable online recipient in India. Other categories of OIDA or services providers like those supplying OIDA or services from India will have to file regular returns prescribed for the general categories of registered persons like GSTR 1, 2, 3. Hope you understood the reason behind implementation of OIDAR. Thank you.